Hello everyone and welcome to my Pokemon Detective Pikachu review and pack opening video, because those are kind of popular, aren't they? So yeah, I watched the movie yesterday. I'll discuss my feelings and thoughts about that later, but today bought some of these sort of Detective Pikachu packs and stuff, and we're just going to open them and see what we get. I don't really know what's in these packs. I'm assuming it's going to be like cards that represent things that happen in the movie, so if you haven't seen the movie, well, actually no, you can probably watch this bit. I'll tell you when to hop off when there's spoiler territory. But let's get into this. Which one do we want to go for first? We'll go for the Mewtwo one first, actually, because I want to save opening my Pikachu for a bit later. Okay. So it would help if I knew how. Oh, what the? I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing to open this. You know, it would have been better if I hadn't started. Oh, here we go. Things are moving. Oh, that is nice. That's nice. So we get a proper. Oh, it's like a proper case file. Oh, that's really nice. Right, so we've done that bit. Now we get to the other bit, which is how the hell do we get this off? The layer of plastic. Is it to do with that? That looks like it should be. Oh, here. Nope. Sticky. Right, I found what I was doing wrong. It was just being an idiot, basically. So I've managed to open it properly. Okay. Well, I say properly, there's another layer of plastic to go through. Look. Oh. The actual playable Mewtwo is kept behind it. What? Oh, they might be so complicated. There you go. Put it over there. So here we go. We get the Mewtwo GX regular size. Very nice artwork, by the way. Illustration NPC from. Okay, it seems to be using kind of the CG creatures from or Pokemon from the film in order to kind of get the base form. It's not the same as the CG for the film. I guess it's just kind of like an inspiration for it. So it does 50 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. This damage isn't affected by weakness or resistance. Pretty nice. In terms of, you can just knock out a guy on the bench with that. It's 2 energy, not too bad. I don't know a whole lot about the Pokemon trading card game. I try and keep abreast of certain things, but I mean, from what I see, 190 HP on a GX, that's basic, that's pretty damn good as well. Waning Pulse, confuse the opponent, 120 damage, 4 energy, it's a lot. Psychic Nova, put all damage onto the Pokemon by attacks during your opponent's next turn. That's pretty nice. I mean, I don't think it's gonna be that competitive, but it's a pretty cool card to have. It's also really cool having the giant version of it, which is just like a nice collector's thing. Oh my god, more plastic, okay. So there are 4 packs of Detective Pikachu, and then we also have a pack of Sun and Moon and a pack of Burning Shadows. I'm quite excited about this because I've not actually opened any Sun and Moon packs ever, so we'll be getting a lot of kind of new cards. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to save those Detective Pikachu packs for later. I'm going to tie them into when we open the Detective Pikachu packs from this smaller thing. Actually, let's open this bit first. Hopefully I can work out this plastic. Well, nope, it seems to be even more cumbersome than the other one. It gives you a little nub that you're supposed to put your... what am I supposed to be doing to open this? So I don't really want to be like ripping apart the case book because it's really nice. But I don't... nope. You know, I'm just going to cut to me opening it. Well, I didn't really get to open it properly. I have no idea how you're supposed to open this thing because there's no give or leeway on anything. So I basically have to take scissors to it and almost butcher it. I'm just going to try and get the actual things out. I will sort out the plastic mess later. Oh, that's like behind another wall, is it? There we go. That's the thing that's supposed to come out. I don't know how you're supposed to get beyond that. Anyway, let's get these things out. There we go. So yeah, I'm just gonna say this straight out of the gate. I like the look of both these products, but their design is not that great. It's very unintuitive to open and very annoying. So let's move those Detective ones out. So we've got these 3 Sun and Moon packs to start with. I suppose I'll show off the Detective Pikachu card. As you can see, with the scissors it's somewhat damaged it a little bit. So there's a little, you can see there's a bit of a line down his. That is very annoying, but as I said, bad product design. I don't know how you're supposed to get that out legitimately. I bet you I'm going to finish this video and it's just going to be like a little, there's not even a release switch on the back. I don't know what I was supposed to do with that, so I'm upset at myself that I've now got this line of the Detective Pikachu card, but like, I really didn't have much of a choice in terms of how to open it, so, I mean, I'm not going to sell it or anything, but it would just be nice for it to be in mint condition, but, you know, $10.99, it's not that expensive if I ever need to get one, if I ever really want another one, or if I can just get it on eBay. But yeah, I shouldn't have to, I should be able to get this, buy this new, and not have to sort of deface it and also open it, so yeah, really bad product design. Anyway, his Master Pokemon, brilliant deduction, and actually, with sort of a cost your deck, put one of them into your hand, shuffle the other cards back into your deck. For 1 energy and no damage, that's kind of lame, but you know, he's a cool looking card, isn't he? Oh, so that's when he's in the apartment. Skill and deduction, he's a self-proclaimed great detective. His detective hat is his trademark. Or actually, I think just being a Pokemon is his trademark. Okay, let's open these packs then. I don't care really for that. If anybody wants a code for the Pokemon Online, come on, focus. Well, you probably saw enough on screen to snap it up there. Right, we're going to start with the first Sun and Moon. I don't really know what comes next, whether it's Burning Shadows or Crimson Invasion. I think Crimson Invasion is third of these three. As I don't really keep in. Oh, there you can just go around. Okay. I don't really know what the card trick is in terms of where the holo is, so we're just going to go through this pack as usual. Chinchou, Makuhita, Caterpie, Paras. I'm not seeing any Gen. Oh, there we go. Young Goose, first Gen 6 Pokemon. Cosmoem. Okay, so you get your shiny 3, 4, 6 card. And then Crabominable as our a star. I can't remember the correct one for it. Energy, Metapod. Oh, Torcat. That's nice. I really like the Lithium Evolution line. And Rainbow Energy. That's a bit of a banger. Bit of a banger as of an energy. Here we go. There's the code for. Oops. The code for anyone that needs it. Burning Shadows. So we want to be opening from behind. Ah, my god. Okay, so what was it again? It was 1, 2, 3, 4. It was 6 and 7. So we want 1, 2, 3. Let's put those ones like that. There's the code. Okay. So Inkay, nice. Roots. Very nice art as well on that wall. I enjoy that. Quabrawler, go with the Quabominable. Sneasel, pretty damn good. Venipede. Oh my god, that is an adorable. It's like a yarn knitted Marrow. My camera's not very good at focusing today. Put that like that. For some reason, also green is coming out a bit weird. Sorry about that. Noctowl. Mount Lanakila. Yeah, Lanakila. Simisear, world's most hated Pokemon. Electros. And I messed that up wholly, didn't I? So it was actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was the 6 and 7, not 7 and 8 is what I did. Electros, that's one of my favourite Gen 5 Pokemon. I don't understand why it has Levitate, but it's like it got me through a lot of that. The Unova games, given it's immune or has no weaknesses basically, unless you sort of suppress its ability, which in regular play that's not going to happen. Obviously online it can happen, but I don't really play competitive Pokemon that much. There we go. Hopefully you've got that. My focusing is being so bizarre today. 1, 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 6 and 7, right? Okay. Hopefully this works. Zhangmo. Carablast. Sharon. I like that name or that ability name. Oh! I'm really digging some of these experimental art styles that they're using. Obviously the kind of classic big monster smashing stuff is really cool, but this like weird kind of indie game polygons is pretty appealing. Houndour, Bunelby, Steel Energy, the Sea of Nothingness. Bit of a nihilistic name there. I don't know where that's supposed to be in the game. Gastrodon, both of them in one card. That's pretty cool. Zvylus, let's go with the Dino. Another Gastrodon. Gotta say, that seems a bit annoying that you get the same card twice. And a Miss Magius. Ooh, okay. Dark Arts, Chaos Wheel. Pretty nice. No GXs, but like I mean the likelihood to get a GX in 3 packs is very, very slim. So now we have 6 packs of this Detective Pikachu pack, and there are 4 cards in each. I have no idea what any of the cards are in these packs, what the sort of rarities are, anything like that. We're just gonna open them and see. It seems to be what's this? Oh, more codes. There you go. You know, actually, I'm not going to bother with doing the codes for the other 5 packs just because it's a bit of a time constraint, bit of a seems pointless because no one really cares. Okay, here we go. Morlul. That's the name of it. The Pokemon's in the film, but I just couldn't think of the name at all. I knew it was an evolution of Shiinotic. I just couldn't think of what on earth it was called because my mum was asking me. Bulbasaur. Yeah, this Bulbasaur is looking nice. Jigglypuff. And Slacking Legend. Okay, so there were 18 cards in the pack, is what it says. So we 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. There's a chance we're going to get every card. I doubt it. But I'm happy with that. That Slacking is a ledge, by the way. Literally every scene the Slacking is in is just hilarious. Oh my god. I suppose these are kind of spoilers for the main Pokemon that are in the movie. But, oh yes boys, Lickitung, hello Miley, Snubble, the Legend, another Jigglypuff, that's okay. Oh boy, Charizard, look at that. I bet you that's probably going to be the chase card in this, because Charizard is always the chase card. That's a nice pull. I wonder where the Gengar is going to be in here. Gengar and Blastoise, because they had a little thing in the film. Oh my. Another Lickitung. Second Snubs. Third Jigglypuff, I've got the playset. Ditto. Just want to go put. That's a nice Ditto. I'm down with the Ditto. There. 3 packs left. Let's hope for. Oh my god, it's just Jigglypuff for days. It's the 4th Jigglypuff. Psyduck, awesome. Magikarp, legend. Oh, and the Detective Pikachu alt art. He loves to show off his vast knowledge as Pikachu is like a middle-aged man. Wow. I mean, it's accurate. Your opponent uses their hand. There's nothing. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Was he? I don't even think that thing that he's investigating was even in the film. But you know, all art's pretty damn good. Let's see what we're going to get from these final 2. I really should have looked at like the set list or the card list prior to this. I would have known like what I was wanting and what to expect. So we get Bulbasaur, 5th Jigglypuff. Oh my god, is Jigglypuff in like every pack? Charmander, and Arcanine. Oh, nice. Oh, you know, one of the ones I do want. I want Cubone actually. From this lot. It's probably not gonna be in the set list in the end. Or both of you. I'm just gonna miss him out, but that's okay. Pack is so a bit annoying to open. Alright, let's see what we're going to get. Final pack. It just slipped away from my fingers there. There we go. So we're getting 2nd Psyduck. Nice. 2nd Morlul. Also nice. 2nd Snubble. And the Mewtwo. Yes, boys. I'm going to assume that's like really good getting that alternate Mewtwo out. So So we ended up, in terms of, I would say the foils for this would be Mewtwo, they're all foil, but like the rarest ones, or the rare ones, Arcanine, Detective Pikachu, oh Ditto, yeah, Ditto's up there, Charizard, hopefully this is all on camera, and Slacking. That's a nice set of cards, nice set of holos. I don't know what the other holos in the pack were, or the other sort of rarest ones were, but I'm darn pleased with those. Mewtwo is looking, well, I was going to say jacked, but that was slightly implied by his move Psyjack there, so it wasn't particularly, it was more like the subconscious of my brain was going to say, he looks jacked, oh, because I see the word jack, you know what I mean, probably don't anyway. So, got quite a nice stack of lovely cards from the movie. I really like the way that because it's not quite the same as the CG art from the movie. They've slightly tweaked it a little bit, and it just looks really good. I mean, the movie looked really good as well. And then from our normal packs, we got, well, a whole bunch of kind of cool cards. Like I like this actual Abominable artwork. As I said, Torracat is a really good card. Oh, really good for me because I have cats now. I would say it's my favourite of the litter line. A bit contentious. Electros is a really nice Pokemon. That Mowel, Newton Mowel is adorable. The Gastrodon is pretty cool. And Miss Magius is a nice Pokemon as well to have. So combine that with the... God, I just took the Pikachu promo card. I ended up with all my kind of the rubbish on the side. Where's my Mewtwo small Mewtwo promo gun? That's underneath. There we go. Not bad. Oh, and there's one other thing, isn't there? Where's it gone? Because I know this is somewhat popular to collect these sort of Pokemon coins. So this has got the Pikachu with the Deerstalker hat on, which is pretty nice. I don't actually think people really use them in the competitive play, but I know they're collectibles. Well, the whole game is a collectible, really, isn't it? So yeah, I'm pretty damn happy with this opening. I think I got the majority of the cool cards from the Detective Pikachu pack. I don't know whether I'm missing any. As I said, I'm going to have to look that up separately. But from what I've seen, what I remember from the film, I think I've got the kind of the bangers out there. Maybe there's a Torterra or a Greninja as well. Minor spoilers. But yeah, so that's about it for the opening. Now on to the review. I loved a lot of the movie, but then there was also a lot that was that just didn't quite gel with me or resonate so much. So I think it's really important to look at the film as more of a sort of a film of two halves, as it were. So the first half is generally really entertaining. Ryan Reynolds does a great job as Detective Pikachu, being sort of cutting wit, sarky enough, and also obviously just basically being Ryan Reynolds. He's very enjoyable to watch on screen, and his interactions with Justice Smith, who's playing Tim Goodman, are really entertaining. And obviously he's not there in terms of the Pikachu's not there jumping on his shoulder and what have you, but you do feel like he's there. It does feel really realistic in terms of CG sort of buddy films go. So I really liked their sort of chemistry between each other. The jokes at the expense of sort of the film that it's kind of making were really good, in terms of him being really awkward with his love interest, who's the reporter for CNN, and sort of Pikachu kind of pointing it out how bad is it. I mean, it felt like very Deadpool-ish, but it felt natural to the film as well, in terms of it was playing to the more comedic side of things in a lot of what it was doing. Like the very first scene is Justice Smith and his friend, who I cannot remember the actor's name, but he's the driver, or he's a taxi driver in the Deadpool movie, so we know how he got that job. They're just sort of out in a field, and there's a Cubone crying, and yeah, that's the kind of perfect Pokemon for you, Tim. Why? Because you're sad and lonely. It just felt really kind of funny, and it was really great to see these Pokemon as live action for the first time on screen. And like the scene where Tim first arrives into Rhyme City, which is where the majority of the film takes place, and that's a city where sort of the Pokemon and humans are treated equally, and each Pokemon has a human partner and vice versa. That introduction scene where you're just seeing him kind of be amazed at the wonderment of this city and all these different Pokemon doing these things was just so great. I mean, the film in general is a lot like Zootropolis, or Zootopia if you're most people. I think it's only Zootropolis in the UK for some reason. The film seemed very similar to that in terms of plot, but we'll get into that in a minute. But also in design wise, for like Rhyme City being similar to the Zootropolis idea of all these animals from different walks of life coming together and being treated equally. So I loved the world that it had created, and seeing all these Pokemon doing funny things. Like, I mean, there's a bit where there's just like a Galurk who literally just lurked in the background of various scenes, and it does nothing, but he just looks really funny because he stands out so much as being this giant Titanic automaton, while you've just got all these little Pokemon like a Charmander skidding about their feet. You've got Joltik on the electrical wiring, you've got Apom playing on the sort of the side bits or the billboards of buildings, and it was just great to see all these Pokemon that I have loved and cherished for all these years on the big screen interacting with humans and being, I mean, I know some people don't like the designs, think they're a bit too kind of strange and different from the cartoons or from the original games design, but I thought they did fit really nicely with the kind of the more live action being Pokemon in real life type thing. I mean, some of them were still very cute as well, like the Bulbasaurs as the film progresses are absolutely adorable, but I didn't think any of the designs were particularly off-putting or anything like that, and for the most part I really enjoyed them. Like Detective Pikachu's design itself, very fluffy, very cuddly. Obviously you got the lovely sort of pink cherry cheeks, and the fur, just really nice fur effects as well. Bearing on, I don't know what the film's budget was. I'm guessing it's quite a bit, but the effects for the Pokemon were really nice. Like the Snubble as well. There was one little bit where I thought was a little off, like when the Snubble's police partner Yoshida is sort of rubbing his head near the end of a scene. You can kind of see the hands in midair just like that, and that for me, that was the only real part that broke the immersion of the Pokemon actually being within this realm. Because for the most part, everything else you can feel that they're there. Characters kind of stepping over smaller Pokemon, dodging in the street. You've got all the Arcanines and the police force and the Growlithe. You feel like the Pokemon are really there, other than this one scene with Snubble. So I thought that was really good. In general, the effects were superb. The comedy of the first half as he's adapting to this new city and this having this talking Pokemon were great. And I really enjoyed the way the kind of mystery was building up, because it's a bit like Zootropolis. Okay, we're going to go into proper spoiler territory now in terms of the plot. So basically what's the main plot is Tim's father was investigating a case of there's this experimental new sort of drug serum, basically, that when Pokemon inhale it makes them feral and they go berserk. So essentially the Night Howlers from Zootopia, and it's a mystery of who's doing this, what's the purpose of it, why are they who's doing this and why they're doing this. And that's like a nice good setup. I mean, it's derivative of Zootropolis as I'm saying, but it still works enough, and it's different seeing Pokemon go feral than animals go feral, and it's really, and you still get some really nice bits, like when they go into to investigate a sort of illegal Pokemon fighting ring. You have these Loudred that are acting as sort of the speakers for the DJ, and then when they go berserk, that's when the bass drops, and it's just so funny. It's just boom, 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 as the Loudred are just going ham against these humans. It's really enjoyable, and that's like a really nice setup, and you get some nice chemistry, and you're getting hints that it might be to do with the corporation that's sort of running the town, and the hints that the police aren't letting on as much as they know that's all nice. That's all really good. There's also this amazing scene with Mr. Mime where they're interrogating him, and my God, like, this is where the creativity really shines. Like, you can't really do this in detective films or other sort of properties like this, and this is the thing that I'm most looking forward to now they've got these designs for the CG Pokemon, seeing what films that they're going to make in the future, because I really hope they do, and what stories they're going to tell. So, like, well, back to this Mr. Mime scene, interrogating someone using mimes and charades is just a brilliant idea. Combine that with Mr. Mime's natural creepy look, and how the characters are pointing out how he's the worst Pokemon, or the weirdest, and you have what amounts to this absolute banger of a scene where you have Tim. Like, as I'm saying, it's a PG film, but it does kind of strike the boundary work a couple of times. You're having Tim pouring mime gasoline over Mr. Mime, lighting matches. Mr. Mime's extinguishing them. Then he pours a trail away, and then lights a match, saying, "Come on, you need to tell us what you need to know." Mr. Mime doesn't, and the scene just ends with Tim dropping the imaginary match onto the fire, then close up on Mr. Mime's face as he goes. Like, that was brilliant, like, and darkly brilliant. I mean, obviously Mr. Mime's not getting burned to death, but the implication is there, and it's so funny. And there's also another bit where Tim talking about putting stuff up his nose in terms of this sort of in gas, and obviously you got getting references to drugs, and it's just nice, awkward, kind of a bit pushing the boundaries for PG and Pokemon. So I really enjoyed that. The film then does take a bit of a nosedive, however. Basically, Tim goes to the mayor of the city's office, who basically kind of created the city and created the idea of Pokemon and people living harmoniously as opposed to battling and stuff like that. Cool. This guy tells him that his son, who's trying to take over the company, is involved in this spread of the chemical that's making Pokemon go berserk. Fine, that's okay. But what the literal pivotal point of the movie, in terms of where you can pinpoint exactly when it goes downhill, is that somehow there was police footage of Tim's father his car being run off the road by what seems to be a Mewtwo attack. Okay, that's fine, but what this mayor does is he manages to take the footage from that's what being recorded on the CCTV camera, turn it into a hologram in his office, which, okay, I can kind of believe in that. He's paralyzed and he's stuck in a wheelchair, so he wants to be able to kind of see the world again, so he's created this hologram technology that allows him to bring the beach into his office or something like that. Okay, I can understand that you can look at this footage and turn it into reality, or turn it into a hologram in the office. But the thing that breaks everything is somehow he can go beyond the realms of what the CCTV captured and view areas of that scene and that time, and he can extrapolate them into this hologram as well. So you basically have it where you see the crash again, and it extrapolates further out, and it confirms that it was Mewtwo that attacked it, which is absolutely bananas insane. It makes zero sense, and they use it a couple of times in the film, and it just seems to be there because they have no idea how to progress the detective work forward, and are we need to reveal more stuff, but we can't do actual detective work in this Detective Pikachu. Holograms that show and reveal everything. So that was the pivotal point where the film lost me. I mean, I was still interested in it because you've got you then have the two main characters, Tim Pikachu, and the love interest, whose name I'm yawning. Whose name I have embarrassingly forgotten, which is such a shame because she did play it well and was enjoyable enough, and her entrance scene especially, where she talks about how she works in this network and she basically makes lists of top 10 Pokemon that are cute. nice shot at quite a few YouTubers out there, but it's also kind of self-referential, so it was enjoyable. And she has her partner Pokemon Psyduck. Obviously, you get lots of jokes about Psyduck's headache. Good fun. So Tim, Girl, Pikachu, and Psyduck, they go to the laboratory out of town, see what's going on, and again you have more. God, I'm so tired. Again, you have more hologram technology of them bringing up the previous days of research, so you can see what went wrong and how the Mewtwo escaped to its containment chamber, which is, I think that's slightly more forgivable because you could understand that maybe the lab would have sort of a 360-degree camera kind of and be able to recreate its moments, but it still felt a little eh. Then you have Greninja / being the Xenomorphs from Alien, which is a fun scene. But then the film takes a bizarre turn. So they escape the facility, they escape the Greninja, and then it turns out that they're on a giant-sized Torterra, which has somewhat been established as like continent sizes, basically. But it doesn't really make sense. You have this whole sort of 2-minute scene of basically the earth and the land moving and trees collapsing and everything going crazy, bananas, ape shit. Oops. And you don't have any. Well, you can pick up that okay, it's going to be a Torterra. But when you think about the movement of the sort of land mass, and you're getting all these trees knocking over, the characters sort of hanging on for dear life as they're flung this way and that, it then doesn't really line up with a Torterra effectively standing up from its domain in the ground. Like, they're going like 360 degrees crazy, and the Torterra's all the Torterra's done is gone, I'm down here, so I'm down here, now I stand up. It didn't line up enough for me, and they spent so long on this, and this was quite bad in terms of it did look fake in terms of the effects of them sort of tumbling down this sort of hillside of forest. Like, it was just a bit of a bad scene. Like, I like the concept that they're actually on a Torterra, but it just didn't line up with the movement of the characters. And then you have what, I mean, I thought this was a funny scene to me. So you have like this giant boulder kind of barreling towards the four of them, and I think, oh god, it's going to hit them. Nope, completely misses them. But then you have, so I've got my Pikachu here in terms of, he came and watched a movie with me. So then they had Pikachu with his friends there, and then like a tiny little rock comes, boom, hits Pikachu sort of square in the forehead. And I laughed, I thought it was funny, like you having the boulder miss them, and then this tiny rock just bumps him, and they then sort of fall into the sea. Okay, come out of the sea, and Pikachu's close to death. What? The rock hitting him in his forehead was actually going to kill him? Jesus Christ! Like, I was. Well, my laugh had to sort of quickly cease. Then I thought, you framed it in a funny way that you had the giant boulder miss them, and you have like this tiny pin of a rock just bump Pikachu on the forehead, and then actually no, he's in a critical state and he's about to die. What? So you then have, frankly, a bizarre scene of Bulbasaurs and Moralols sort of guiding Pikachu to a healer in the forest. I was thinking, okay, I'm going to get like Chansey maybe, Ordino living in the forest. That's a bit of an odd way of doing it, but okay, I'm going to deal with it. But no, Mewtwo is the healer Pokemon. What? I mean, he's psychic, yeah, and he can do telekinesis and all that kind of stuff. But since when could he like heal a body? I mean, he's got Recover on himself, but is he psionically using Recover on Pokemon? It wasn't made all that clear what he was doing. And then you have him, then you see his sort of side of things, and that it was actually Pikachu that released Mewtwo. Oh my god, it was actually Pikachu that released Mewtwo from the containment chamber and inadvertently caused the death of Tim's dad, or so it would seem at this stage. Okay, but again, that is revealed through Mewtwo showing them the flashback, which it's like there's no real detective work. It's just characters show you flashbacks to this one scene, and slowly more and more pieces kind of fit together. It's not the characters that actually working out anything. It's not the detective Pikachu being a detective so much at this stage. God, and you just have what amounts to basically a lot of, I don't want to say white noise, but it just feels like the case kind of falls flat. Like the first half, they were actually doing detective work. They were interrogating people, tracing the R from local dealer, finding this underground battle system, and it felt like proper detective work, city street level stuff. But now it's just like, oh, hologram, that tells you all you need to know. Hologram, but from a slightly different point of view. It felt like the detective work just was thrust away for kind of action set pieces that didn't really fit the tone of the film and felt more like they needed to happen, and purely on the basis that, no, it's a Pokemon film, you've got to have action, you've got to have Pokemon fighting each other. But it didn't, as I said, it doesn't really go with the film, and it just made a lot of the detective work that happens in the early half feel like a waste of time. Or feel like it was, as I say, it was two halves. The first half is proper detective work, the second half is hologram actions. So yeah, you get the Mewtwo then gets recaptured by what appears to be the son, who I mean, I actually love the scene in terms of, it was really funny how the son just sort of stands over them in the sort of pit in the forest, sunglasses on, doesn't say a word, captures the Mewtwo, and then just sort of like adjusts his tie and walks back. That I was killing it myself there. It just felt so much like a 90s cheesy villain, which in the end I suppose it kind of was. So all seems lost. Mewtwo has been captured again, and Pikachu was the one that freed him, causing Tim's dads to die, basically. Okay, you can say that, but you then have the audacity to have the typical sort of, I've forgotten the real name for it, but it's the second act, I think it's the second act falling out between Detective Pikachu and Tim, where you have literally the most cliched dialogue I've ever heard from Pikachu. I hurt everyone I get close to, I hurt. We can't be together anymore. I hurt everyone. And it was just like wanting to shoot myself levels of awkward. It was just, I think I actually closed my eyes for this scene just because I knew exactly how it would play out. I didn't even need to see the character's supposed fake emotions as they felt. Oh god, we're gonna have to split up from him. I can't believe all you've done. You've killed my dad. Blah, 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 blah. Just like, because, and it feels so hammered in that it needs to be there. And like, I mean, I'm not saying this excuses bad writing, but if they'd at least acknowledged the fact that, like, if they kind of broken the fourth wall with Pikachu saying, "Are you really doing this?" and stuff like that, you kind of forgive it a little bit. At least it have a bit of humour to it. But as it is, it's just humourless, recycled garbage. So they split up. Excuse me, princess. They split up. Tim goes back to the city to speak to the father of the corporation, saying, "Oh, I think your son is the one that's capturing Mewtwo and doing all these experiments. What can we do?" Basically, Pikachu goes out to kind of have a walk on his own, ends up singing the Pokemon theme tune, which is quite nice, and then discovers that there's a Greninja throwing star at the bridge where Tim's car crashed. And then you get a flashback, which isn't really a flashback in terms of there's no... Oh my god, I'm a yawny boy today. In that there's no real explanation for it. But you kind of see it from, again, the car crash frame from a different angle, where it's actually the Greninja who run the car off the road, and Mewtwo tried to sort of recover it, obviously failed, but then basically ended up mind melding the father with Pikachu. So he removed all of Pikachu's existing memories of being a detective, being a partner to Tim's father, and then supplanted that with the father but who also had no memory. So it didn't really make much sense because the Pikachu didn't even have the memory of being the father. It was just the father's mind in the Pikachu's body. Okay. I don't know whether that's a twist in the game, because I know in the game it's similar plot in that you're looking for your father who supposedly died. I don't know whether it turns out that the Pikachu that you've been speaking to is your father, but it just didn't really. You'll be able to take me a lot more seriously if I didn't stop yawning all the time. I didn't keep yawning. So yeah, we have a lot of weird hologram scenes. Back in Rhyme City, they're doing the parade that was sort of been established earlier. Got all these giant balloons, and then you find out because Tim confronts the father. Oh, actually, it's the father is the evil one, and what appeared to be the child was actually his partner Pokemon, Ditto. Now, I like this twist. I love the idea of just this Ditto. You get this amazing scene where the fake son takes his sunglasses off and he's just got Ditto's eyes behind it, and it's just hilarious. And then you have Ditto obviously being transforming into everything, attacking Tim, and it's really fun. There's this great scene where he turns into a Cubone, and Tim's like hanging on for dear life at the top of the building, and the Cubone's just bashing his fingers off the building. It's great fun. I enjoy that. But you find out that basically it's the father who has orchestrated all of it, and has done so because he's got this he has this mind meld himself that will allow him to put his mind into Mewtwo's body, so he can effectively walk again and travel the world without having to be confined to his wheelchair and not dying, basically. Okay, that's a plan, sure. And yeah, okay, you want more. You want to be able to experience the world. Mewtwo's a pretty the most powerful Pokemon. Yeah, that seems good. You become a Mewtwo, why not? Satisfy your fetishes. Go for it. Good on you. But he also wants to fuse all of humanity with Pokemon. So in all the parade balloons, which this was annoying. It made me just miss the fact that Pokefloats isn't in Smash Bros. Ultimate even more. The fact that we're seeing all these giant Pokemon balloons up in the sky and they're fighting on them and running between them. Oh, it's annoying. But basically, you have all these balloons that are filled with these this gas that turns Pokemon feral, but it's been augmented by Mewtwo somehow to that now when it's released, instead of making them feral, it fuses the human with their partner Pokemon. Okay, go ahead, why not? I mean, it doesn't really make much sense. The plan was that the plan is just bizarre, because also it doesn't even line up, because the main guy, the guy that's actually put his mind into Mewtwo, he's not fused with Mewtwo. He's still got a physical body in the office, which is then used to defeat him, because they just take the mind melder thing off his head and he comes back to himself. But like, his plan was to fuse everyone with their Pokemon, but he didn't actually fuse himself properly with the Pokemon. So why didn't he release some of the gas in his office so he properly fused with the Mewtwo, so he couldn't be beaten by just taking the hat off or taking the sort of brainwave pattern thing off? It just didn't seem like a very well thought out plan, especially when you then consider the fact that it leans into what Mewtwo was wanting anyway. Mewtwo was wanting an end to humanity after how he'd been mistreated in a lab and experimented on, and this is what this guy was basically giving him, even though it wasn't supposedly Mewtwo's plan, it was his own plan. So it just felt like, I mean, you could have had more twists in it, with Mewtwo being the one that was actually orchestrating this to get rid of humanity. But no, Mewtwo was a goodie in the end, or somewhat of a goodie, because he was like, actually, I know humanity's evil, but that doesn't mean that all humans are. Okay. So yeah, it just felt like it felt like a different writer had stepped in for the second half in changing the direction from proper hard-boiled detective, well, not hard-boiled, it's still PG friendly for the most part, but kind of a nice cynical detective story with Pokemon investigating these shady streets and stuff like that, into big CGI film cinematics, like action extravaganza that didn't sit well with the rest of the movie, and it just didn't even really make sense. As I'm saying, the villain's plan was so bizarre and backward thinking. Plus, it wouldn't have even mattered anyway, because if I mean potentially, let's say for example Tim and Pikachu hadn't managed to thwart him and hadn't got the hat off his head, that body would still die at some point, and when that body died at some point, then the mind link would be severed anyway. So it was just a matter of, well, wait a few years and the plan loses anyway. So it was not like he's preserving himself for immortality. He's still going to die of his condition because his body's going to die, and then for the body, therefore the mind link's going to snap because there's not going to be anything. There's not going to be a mind because the original body is dead. So it just felt like there was no thought put into his plan whatsoever, and there's no real reason for him to do this with fusing humans and people when he worked so hard to have humans and Pokemon be equal. It just felt like he was big bad. I'm gonna do this evil thing for everyone or on everyone for no real reason. I mean, and it wasn't even that comic either. Like, there's another thing, because the second half of the film, it really drops off in comedy. You still get quite a lot of, or you still get a nice amount of it with Ditto, and obviously the flexibility of having Pokemon being able to transform, being able to do all these kind of different things, and Ryan Reynolds is still funny for the most part as Detective Pikachu. But you do drop off a lot of the kind of the fact that it was acknowledging the fact that it was kind of a bit of a cliche film, or a bit of a film that's been done before, in terms of you've had loads of CG with live action human sort of movie but partnerships that start off sour and then end up being friends and stuff like that. But second half, it went full cheesiness, but it didn't acknowledge that it was cheesy. It just felt like it was being earnest and being how kind of ridiculous and over the top it was, as opposed to leaning into it being deliberately funny and making fun of how stupid things are getting. It felt like they thought this was actually serious, that you were supposed to be able to take this man's plan seriously, which quite funny I wasn't. And then all gets resolved when Mewtwo has status quo. He's bored and right, just Ladybug's status quo, so he basically just goes walla walla and fixes everything, and all the humans become separated from the Pokemon again. But somehow he also then reconstitutes the body of Tim's half-dead father, puts Detective Pikachu's, or puts his brain back in it, and then Detective Pikachu becomes a Pikachu again, and the father's back alive somehow. It didn't make a whole lot of sense, and basically for some reason Mewtwo was saying he needed Tim there to be able to do that. I'm not sure why. Was he reconstituting the father out of Tim's memories of what the father looked like? But then why did he take the original body of the father? Or if he didn't reconstitute it, then why did he need Tim there? What was happening to the body of the father that needed Tim there to revive it for some reason? It ended up being quite a nice scene in terms of the good way to end the film, but it just felt like a bit of a drop-off in terms of sense. Now, also, if you noticed, first half of the movie, I was trying to talk about all the different kind of Pokemon in the background doing funny things. Second half of the movie, because it takes stuff out of the city for the most part, you just don't get the feel that all these Pokemon living and breathing these different lives. Like earlier in the film, for example, you have a Jigglypuff singing in a bar in a sort of karaoke night, and they're putting people to sleep. That's really funny. That's like really, it's kind of a bit of an obvious joke with Jigglypuff, but it's still nice to see with the live action version as opposed to in the cartoons. Second half of the film, Pokemon sort of play, outside of Ditto, Pokemon play very much safe with their comedy. Like the Greninjas are just like attack dogs. Basically, Torterra's just stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down. Then you have Bulbasaur, Morlul just being kind of cutesy, and you don't really have the bite or the comedy of the first half. So if the film would continue going on the sort of this track of what the first sort of half was, I would probably rate this film like a solid like 8 out of 10 in terms of enjoyment and quality. Like it's not like a high quality film. It's not going to be challenging your ideas of cinema or filmmaking, but in terms of a fun family adventure film with Pokemon and this kind of live action world for the first time, it would have been really good or really enjoyable. But the second half drops it down so much, and I can't help but give it like, I feel like a 6 is probably what it deserves based on the fact that it was one half really good, second half really bad. I think 6 is a nice middling score. I want to give it more because the first half was just so good for what it is, but that second half, it just dropped so much. So yeah, I mean, this probably went on really long. I've literally no idea how long I've been rambling about this film. But if you enjoyed it, if you enjoyed the pack opening, subscribe. I mean, I don't know how many Pokemon stuff I'm going to be doing in the future, because I've got a plan for the upcoming few videos that I'm going to be making. But well, stick around, subscribe, like, ring that bell, comment, whatever, YouTube stuff. Also, Pika, Pika Pika. Random Pikachu sounds. Pee pee Pika pee Pika Piki. You got a problem with it?